I'll put a notification up of the stream and everything in the Facebook channel pretty soon. We've got the game of GOON versus ISIS ready to roll. I'm just checking with the captains now. But everyone's in the lobby and ready to roll. Alright, so the game has begun. We've got Goonsack at the top, just with the old Jesus Ghoulie, Dodobra, and a few of the others on the Goonsack. These boys have been around for a few of them now. ISIS just sitting at the bottom there. ISIS chose Radiant side, which meant that... Oh, sorry, Goon won the toss, which meant they took first pick, and ISIS took the side. So ISIS jumped on the Radiant, and Dire jumped on the first pick on the Dire side. We've got a CM and Outward Devourer band coming up. Outward Devourer is seriously strong hero. Just powerful, basically. Always comes through with it in the end. Really good at the end steal. Crystal Maiden, just really popular in the Kiev Major. If anyone's been watching that, there's a lot of heroes there, so the draft might actually sort of mimic that a little bit. A Warlock band coming out. Warlock with Fatal Bonds in his ultimate. Really, really strong against OT. Looks like the ISIS team basically trying to prevent any shenanigans from happening around there with the team fight. So looks like they're probably going to want to go for a ganking or a late carry or possibly even a push strategy. Maybe not so much a push, because push means you force the enemy to fight you at a certain point, and if they bring a big team fight, you generally can't win. Just got a nice Crystal Maiden and Lich Band. Goonsack maybe just not liking a lot of snow and the cold. Don't blame him. Dunedin's pretty cold today. But they're also going for, on a more serious note, banning Crystal Maiden because she's a lane dominating hero, and a Lich is a lane dominating hero. And I was about to say, probably going to pick a really strong support, like a Bounty Hunter or a Treant Protector that can essentially be in lane, and you don't know where he's going to come from, and he will just harass and annoy you. So Treant Protector, a really strong pick up there from on the Goonsack. Doesn't really reveal any of the draft as well. Ogre Magi, one of the other heroes, kind of on the other end of that, in a sense. Ogre Magi just he stands in there and it's like, this is my swamp. He's extremely hard to kill, and his W, essentially, not Fire Blast, I think it's like light you on fire, essentially, basically will make you wish that you had not gone up against an Ogre Magi in lane. He's extremely potent and will essentially out-harass most heroes. Shadow Shaman, another seriously strong hero. He is basically the top hero right now for zoning. He's got an intense nuke, he's got 2 massive disables, and he's got an insane right click right now. His range has probably been dropped a bit, but he's still quite a strong support. So 2 supports coming out from ISIS, and Lena and Treant Protector coming out from GOON. Lena, extremely strong hero. Really, really favorable in the meta right now. High burst damage, long range attack, and can actually turn into a semi-carry later on in the game, just with the sheer right click that she gets from her steroiding skill of Fiery Soul. Now, if we just take a quick look over here. So Ignite, sorry, here's the Ogre Magi one. Slack being banned out, so they're really not wanting to go for the sort of the team fight pick-off. So Slack is usually a really good initiator once he gets a Shadow Blade, and he can essentially jump into fights and start wrecking face with a lot of people. And then he can Dark Pact anything off, and once he's Dark Pacted, he just pops his Shadow Dance, and then you can't really target him anymore, so you need Area Effect stuns, and so they really just don't want to fight that, because all of their skills currently right now are just single target ones. Not to mention that Slack actually starts preying on heroes like Shadow Shaman and Ogre Magi later in the game. Nice little Invoker band coming out there. Lena, actually quite weak against Invoker in my opinion. Invoker has the ability to sit back and farm, and also if Lena ever decides to go on, a few skills can actually just prevent her straight up. Tornado, Ghost Walk, if he forces you to carry Dust, or Cold Snap actually. Lena's attack animation is god-awful bad, and her cast animations are terrible as well, so if you manage to see her coming in for you, so if she goes to line up a Light Strike array, you just Cold Snap her, and she just will not be able to get that Light Strike array off, and you'll probably have her down to half health, and before you know it, you basically won. You've won the fight. A Weaver ban coming off there from the ISIS. So Slark and Weaver are kind of a little bit different. I'd say Weaver not really the biggest, strongest hero right now in the meta. He's been hated on a lot. Definitely an interesting hero to verse. He's got stealth, haste, and double damage essentially, but he's extremely weak in lane. So, he's extremely weak in terms of hit points. He's very, very strong in lane and can generally win a lane by himself and be a solo offlane. So they're not really wanting to fight anyone. Probably going to go for a seriously safe carry, I guess. And what I mean by safe carry is not one that is actually safe in lane by itself, but that needs safe lane and needs a bit of babysitting and things like that. Possibly like a Spectre, maybe even a Lifestealer. Well, not really a Lifestealer, but Medusa or something like that. That actually requires quite a large amount of farm to get online and also needs to be protected by supports. Strong supports such as the Ogre Magi and possibly Shadow Shaman. So it seems like ISIS is going for an extremely strong late game extremely strong late game draft with a very high push potential with the Shadow Shaman and the Ogre Magi's Bloodlust. And Bristleback's coming out, which is probably going to be played in the offlane. Now they could change this and go aggressive offlane and leave their safe lane nice and easy for a carry like an anti-mage or something, or maybe even a Spectre. I don't know. Just a really strong late game carry. Juggernaut ban coming out from the boys in the GOON. Juggernaut's just a really strong hero throughout all stages of the game. Pain in the ass to deal with most of the time. If your team isn't familiar with playing against Juggernaut, he can essentially wreak havoc if he's a good enough Juggernaut, basically. Got magic immunity at level 1. Oh, wow, okay, Legion Commander coming out. Legion Commander is an extremely strong initiator. She is basically designed to counter one hero, and she will fight that one hero to the death, and Lina and Legion Commander work really well together, with Lina's ult basically almost guaranteeing the duel. Korean Protector also can globalize the
10 seconds to go.
Can globalize the living armor around a Legion and pretty much guarantee that Legion's going to win that duel, or at least not lose that duel. With the Bristleback there, it also is a really good counter because Legion Commander might go for a Shadow Blade and possibly a Silver Age, which hard counters Bristleback just at all stages of the game. Or she also forces Bristleback to face her and actually Manfighter, which negates his entire passive. So she can essentially turn a fight when Bristleback's running away, and Bristleback has to face her and the rest of the team behind. Magnus, a very, very strong pickup. Sorry, a little bit tired. Magnus, a very strong pickup coming here. Very strong team fight. He's just a generally good hero, and you can almost win a game straight on the bat from him. Now, Magnus is generally played in the offlane, as far as the Kiev Major goes. Very rarely played in mid, but if he is played in mid here, he'll probably be wanting to get a lot of farm and go against possibly a Lina. Magnus is an extremely strong pickup here because Bristleback gets cleave. Bristleback gets natural damage from his Warpath passive, so he will essentially be able to farm very, very quickly with the Magnus. Not to mention, he does area of effect damage with his Quill Spray, and if he possibly goes Scepter, he'll have a Nasal Goo area effect. Magnus is just a really strong hero overall, very strong lane, and does scale much better with farm. As far as offlaners go, Magnus versus other offlaners, you kind of farm on the Magnus is always worthwhile. He's almost like an Abaddon, doesn't fit the same role, but if you put a lot of farm on him, you start feeling the impact of them, and you will behold the horn of Magnus essentially. So looks like the Goonsec boys are going to go for a serious gank pickup, sort of safe. We protect this one and hope the Legion Commander just becomes that one-woman army with like 200 to 300% damage, and essentially just counter strikes the entire team. Legion Commander is definitely going to want to go for a BKB this game. I would almost suggest going Blink, Blade Mail, and BKB just straight away because of the Shadow Shaman, Ogre Magi, and also the minus damage and the insane amount of magic damage that is probably going to be coming out of the Radiant team. A nice safe pickup here for the Goonsec boys would actually be something like a Rubik. If they have a Rubik player, a Rubik would be insane here. You've got RP to steal, you've got some really good Shadow Shaman spells. Ogre Magi is not the best, but he still has some really good spells, and there's a lot of spells on him. Timbersaws, I wouldn't say Timbersaws is actually the best pickup here. He's really good against Bristlebacks, Quill Sprays because of the amount of armor that he gets, and he's just a solid offlaner as well. He's kind of like Magnus, except rather than team fight, he basically, rather than coming in and telling you this is where the fight is happening, Timbersaw will bounce around and try to kite you as much as possible. If Timbersaw gets a lot of farm on him, with the two strength heroes, I can essentially see Timbersaw absolutely destroying. Timbersaw is also really strong in lane. The problem is though that there's quite a lot of magic nuke. Timbersaw is weak against that, and the disables. Timbersaw is actually really weak against disables because Timber Chain now gets stops Timber Chain. Sorry, a stun stops Timber Chain now, and there's quite a few stuns on the opposing team. Bristleback looking like he's the main call right now. Magnus probably going to be in off lane. Nice support combos going on there. They're going to have a really, really powerful lane. What they could also do is roll Magnus in the safe lane and have a really aggressive off lane with Bristleback, Shadow Shaman, and Ogre Magi just basically wailing on people. Now, just right back at that, Legion Commander, Treant Protector, and another hero to be named later, maybe Visage or something like that. Probably even Crystal Maiden's banned, unfortunately, but Treant Protector and Legion Commander themselves are actually pretty powerful heroes, and Abaddon would be an insanely powerful pickup. However, they would be all 3 melee, so that might not work out the best, but a Legion Commander has a debuff, and so does an Abaddon, which can basically purge the Shadow Shaman and Ogre Magi's damage over time and stuns and hexes, as they all sort of are there. The Shadow Shaman has a quick nuke, which is possibly the only thing that will be useful, not to mention you can purge goo as well.
10 seconds
Treant
to
Protector's
go.
living armor stacks will basically get just wiped down by the amount of right clicks coming out. Disruptor ban coming out from MB. That's a really good, really good ban there. He's very hot in the meta right now. Disruptor is insanely powerful for pickoffs. Running him in an aggressive tri lane is basically guaranteeing kills or guaranteeing at least harassment out of lane. Ember Spirit ban coming out for the boys on the GOON. Basically Ember Spirit, really strong hero. Not wanting to face Ember Spirit if you've got Treant Living Armor on you, because it just gets wiped straight away. Ember Spirit's also a much stronger later carry. Ember Spirit Magnus is broken basically, and you can just hold base for an extremely long time because of the massive amount of cleave that just wipes the creep wave and also damages teams.
Reserve time.
So, looks like we're going to have the final 2 picks coming out from Lagoon and ISIS. GOONSEC, I would recommend picking a nice, strong support or a extremely high-powered mid laner if Lina is possibly going to roll a support. If the lanes are Treant, Lina, and Legion Protector. Okay, Dazzle. Very strong support here. Now, ISIS could pick Envy just to hard counter. ISIS could pick an Axe to hard counter the Dazzle, and that would essentially mean that they've got this extremely strong, high base, just hard to kill heroes. However, the Timber Sword does extremely well against heroes like the Axe, where he can basically come in just throw out a bit of the old chakram and Willing Death and instantaneously cut the health down. So there we go. ISIS basically going to throw a nice safe lane Ursa in there. And I think that Ursa was picked up. There was a change there. They may have always had the Ursa in play, but it seemed like they were definitely going to go for a much later carrier than that. Shadow Shaman, Ogre Magi, and Ursa are actually extremely powerful in lane as well. Not to mention Magnus. The unfortunate thing is all 3 of their cores are melee. So Dazzle is actually pretty good against melee, believe it or not. But his ultimate will essentially minus all the armor. He's got slows, and when a melee have to get a range, they all take damage from Dazzle's Weave, which is Dazzle's Weave and Healing Wave, which is insane. Purple, Cure for Death, and also extremely deadly. So they've got a lot of heal and a lot of sustain on the boys and the Goon. So if a fight can be drawn out longer, GOON, I think it's really difficult to say, because the longer a fight goes, the stronger Bristleback and Ursa actually become. So I think it'll basically be down to whoever wins the laning phase is essentially going to push through to the mid game. Now, the boys on GOON have definitely gone for a more sort of team fight. Nuke, we burst you down instantaneously, get the duel really quickly, and then move back. Whereas the boys on ISIS has essentially.
Everybody get set.
Just give me 1 second here while I figure out why I can't move my screen. Right, so I can't move my screen. I'm going to try and reconnect. But we've got some really good draft coming up there. It's probably going to be a lot of fights. I'm hoping to see a lot of fights. In fact, if we get to see a really nice early game where each team kind of gets their laning in. I still cannot move my screen. What the? Right.
30 seconds to showtime.
Just quickly gonna see if I can figure this out. Just a little bit of love there coming from Gully in it. So it looks like we'll just go quickly through the team. We've got a Shadow Shaman support, Bristleback carry. Looks like the lanes are essentially going to be turning into. Oh, I can't see. Goddamn. Right, guys, I'm just going to pop the in-between up there real quick. I'll quickly see if I can figure this out. Okay, we're good. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Just a little bit of a bug in the, in the system there where just screen had frozen. Right, as long as the two teams are ready to go now, we are ready to roll. So we'll just jump up with the last hits of denies in here. So obviously, no one having a really big net advantage there. Looks like we do have the aggressive an aggressive tri-A lane coming out here from the boys in the Goon Tech, really just taking Legion Commander's laning presence to the next level. Legion Commander plus Dazzle plus Tree is an insanely powerful combo, but so is an Ursa, Ogre Magi, and Shadow Shaman, so I expect this lane to be extremely powerful. Now, I'm not sure whether actually Ursa is going to go mid, in fact. He might be going mid. If he does go mid against the Lina, depends on how that's played, but the Lina can essentially outrange him the whole time. It should have a bit of mid, but if Ursa gets led too close, basically, Lina's going to have a really big time. Magnus is just standing in the off lane. Poor man's shield with 3 tangos, pulled by his team, and Timbersaw on the safe lane. Now, Timbersaw versus Mag, that's actually a pretty interesting lineup because both of them are going to get farmed. Timbersaw generally has a bit more kill potential than the Magnus, just because of Willing Death. Now, when the Timbersaw essentially decides to go for the kill, then hopefully the Timbersaw won't. The Timbersaw will basically, at least not overkill. So it looks like Magnus actually swapping to the mid lane because they're just realizing that, hey, we can't actually throw an Ursa against the Lina, or Ursa against Timbersaw, actually a really strong matchup. And it looks like we've got the Bristleback Ogre Shadow Shaman bottom. And so that's actually a pretty good matchup for Legion Commander, I'd say there. Legion Commander can essentially... Oh, okay, this is going to be a really, really careful one. Legion Commander does have the Purge. She's going to Purge the tree, and the Dazzle's going to buff the tree as well. And it looks like Tree might actually just be able to survive this quite... which I think's that, but essentially they've been forced out of lane there. Now, this is the problem with the Tri-Lane, essentially, that Goontex ones... they take a while to come online, and Legion Commander's Purge was a little bit late there. If Legion Commander had purged the tree straight away and the tree just turned and fought, it actually could have just killed the Shadow Shaman because tree's damage is insane, plus the attack speed buff. Of course, the attack at level 1 is nuts. So we've got a little bit of a series of tri-lane going there. Looks like just Timbersaw and Ursa just trading blows, taking a bit there. Timbersaw sort of in the head, a little bit ahead. Lina versus Magnus. I give this generally to the Lina again. Lina is an extremely powerful mid laner. Magnus will definitely get some farm, but he probably won't be able to threaten kills in the Lina unless she very, very much underplays or overplays or one of the two. Makes a mistake, basically. So we've got just definitely want to get ones in this lane just because of the amount of spells that'll be cast. Now, GTFO has basically burnt all his mana out now, but he does have a mango, so they have to be a bit careful. What you want to do is actually exactly this. You want to force the Bristleback to use all his mana so that Quill stacks no longer stack on top of each other. Once you get like 3 or 4 stacks, you can't really fight them, but if they're only up to 2 or 3 stacks, then, I mean, so if there's only 1 stack, maybe 2, then you're absolutely fine. It's not really actually hurting you that much. It's once it gets past 3 and 4 that you start taking way too much damage. This Legion Commander needs to be a little bit careful, but she's definitely got the one, so she's got the right thing. She can actually fight this. She can turn and fight the Bristleback. Bristleback is not actually that strong when it comes to level 1. Legion Commander is an extremely powerful laner. She has a huge amount of right-click damage, just 65. The problem is when the Ogre Magi comes in. That's when you want to be careful, because the Ogre Magi actually is not that strong. Legion Commander can't really fight the Ogre Magi, but the Bristleback is weak as. Not to mention the Shadow Shaman, who has quite a high base damage. Okay, and no, alright, this is really bad. Legion Commander is probably going to go down here, unless they get the Grave off. Now, Legion Commander needs to buff herself. Oh, okay, so she wasted it on the Q. She probably wanted to buff herself.
First thing in the morning.
Okay, so UGTFO definitely getting the first blood there. quite easy. Now, Dodobra has to actually be quite careful here because he could go down to another Quill Spray, but unfortunately Bristleback completely out of things. And this is kind of what I predicted. Just a lot of aggression coming out here from the from these two Tri-Lanes. Now, it sort of smacks at it. The Goontek has not really got too much experience with an aggressive Tri-Lane of this magnitude versus Bristleback. Now, Bristleback is extremely powerful once it gets to level 3, level 4. Level 1 and 2, he's actually not the most powerful hero. He's actually very, very weak because he doesn't have all of the combination that basically makes Bristleback Bristleback. So he doesn't have any goo, he doesn't have anything else. He doesn't have those 2 levels in Quill Spray, which really just sort of pushes the threshold over, because the damage basically doubles for the first one, and the stack damage isn't really super important, but that first initial damage is important. Now, Legion Commander almost 100% is going to get a moment of courage. If she doesn't, I'd be extremely surprised. This will be an insane passive, basically, because when there are creeps around, you just run at an enemy hero and you basically lifesteal off them with a couple of moments of courage, not to mention dealing some harass damage. Now, Jesus needs to be basically sitting in the right position to save Ghoulie when Ghoulie gets stunned. Legion doesn't really want to get stunned. The perfect hero to actually get stunned is probably the Dazzle of the Tree. Now, the reason I say Tree is because when you purge the Tree, the amount of attack speed that he gets is extremely beneficial because of his straight up base damage. Jesus basically just wants to sit right far back here and just keep the heals on. Now, with this aggressive Tri-Lane, they actually want to be extremely aggressive, because what they're doing right here is they're letting ISIS actually get a bit of farm, which they really shouldn't be. They have a more powerful Tri-Lane in terms of things. They've got wands, they've got the tree and living armor, so they really want to burst everything down Grave, and then wait till Grave is just about over, Purge and tree and armor, and you've essentially got an unkillable hero. And by that time, ISIS will pretty much be out of all of their spells, and they'll have probably be down about half life, whereas the Goontek boys will be basically on a lot more health. Now, Goontek doesn't scale quite as well until they get to about level 6, and then level 6 I would definitely give Goontek the Tri-Lane, because wards is amazing, but you can just disengage wards, and multicast is just a passive. Bristleback's damage does increase, yes, that's true, but also if you're stunned or if you've got minus armor, oh, they've got to get this Shadow Shaman now. Okay, they get an easy kill on the Shadow Shaman. They've got to be careful because Ogre Magi is actually quite big, and now they're sort of seeing this power of the Tri-Lane here, that they have a lot of heals, so that they can be very aggressive, and they can trade with extreme efficiency just because of the fact that they have so many heals. So it's like, oh, I've wasted a bit of health. Okay, I'll just get my teammate to heal me up because he can just pop a Clarity or something. Now, there is no Leech Sheet coming out here. I'd like to see that as a third pick coming from the Treant Protector. The reason being is because Leech Sheet is actually like the only slow that they have. They might have the Dazzle Q, which is pretty good, but if Dazzle skills up Q, it means that well, it is a great skill at level 1. It means less healing damage, so the physical damage is really the key here, because Bristleback actually doesn't, like, he's skilled into armor now, and he's got 6 armor. Ogre Magi has a lot of armor with 8, but the Shadow Shaman's sitting there on 2. So you can pick off the Shadow Shaman, and that's pretty much most of your disables and most of your magic damage gone. And then you just focus the Bristleback next down, and then the Ogre Magi, because Ogre Magi is a pain in the ass, but he's the hardest to kill of them all, and his actual skills is he wants you to fight him. Looks like we've got the mid lane, the mid lane here, I can't really pronounce, just cruising around, actually doing pretty well mid lane. Looks like Ursa is ahead of the net worth charts. Ursa versus the Timbersaw, looks like Ursa's definitely come out on top there. Timbersaw not really getting kind of anything out of this lane. Only 12 last hits, he's getting a lot of experience, that's for sure. Magnus is definitely up there, so Magnus definitely making the most of his lane, mid lane. Just farming the jungle a little bit there, got to be a bit careful. Lina dominating the Magnus in a sense. Magnus definitely 10 last hits behind. Lina denies are roughly equal. But it's still the point that Magnus is still a Magnus. He kind of brings more to the team fight than Lina ever could. With this lane here, essentially, I feel like the Legion Commander is actually being a little bit too passive. Ooh, nice little ward denied there by the Treant Protector, just sort of making it worthwhile. If the Legion Commander was a little bit more aggressive here, she could force Bristleback out of the lane. Just because she has her purge. So Bristleback could come at you with like full guns blazing and start spamming Quill Sprays and everything like that, and you've got a wand at 10 charges, so you really just want to start wasting those charges because you'll start building more of them up from the actual Bristleback itself. Lena doing a really good job at just getting decent farm here, but unfortunately just missing the light strike away there. Light strike array. That was probably a kill on the Mustachio if she actually landed that. Ursa just getting an empower now. That's extremely scary in the Ursa. The best thing about this Ursa lineup, Ursa lane, sorry, is that if Ursa decides, oh hey, you know I'm going to go on the Timbersaw. Timbersaw decides to fight you. You just pop your rage and during that burst, it may be pure, but damage reduction still counts. So you still might be able to kill the Ursa, and he'll be doing so much damage to you that you have to retreat, properly get killed. Now he's going for 2 points in the airstrike here. This is really good. I like this. A decent amount more damage, but the actual point is the slow. So a 35% slow is actually insane against the Timbersaw. Insane against any hero really, but Timbersaw specifically because Timbersaw relies on Timber Chain, which if he uses aggressively has about 4-second cooldown. Well, it's not that bad, but if he Timber Chains into you and you slow him down, you've essentially gone ahead and said, you know what, okay, you've just wasted that with Enrage. Okay, wait, now you want to purge. Okay, so this is the problem. Now he's actually getting to the point where he's scary and they're fighting him to his back, so he's going to pop a lot more of these and yeah, die. So it's level 5. You can't fight a Bristleback at level 5. You have to fight him at level 1 and 2, smash him down, or else he's just going to do this and bully you. So when the Treant was essentially shackled there, Legion Commander should have immediately purged the Treant and they should have just fought and turned on the Shadow Shaman, not on the Bristleback. The Bristleback waits, he has to wait for a lot of cool sprays to come out. By attacking him when he's running away, you're actually doing him a favor. So Legion's Lena, sorry, has got to be really careful here, because if the Magnus actually gets an RP off here, which looks like he will, yes, he can get a quite easy kill here. Looks like he probably, ooh, nice little one charge there, and Dazzle coming in with the heal, and it's actually going to turn it really well played here by the Dazzle, basically coming in and saving Lena's life, not to mention getting the kill, return kill on the Magnus. So very nice rotation there by Jesus, well played. Legion Commander here, now Solar, has to be careful. So the problem is Legion Commander by herself is extremely vulnerable here because the Shadow Shaman can lock her down, allow Bristleback to build up stacks. So she should be playing, Ghoulie should be playing very careful here. The problem is though that when she had her buddies around, she should have been playing aggressive, like extremely aggressive, because she had lots of safety there. Okay, so Ursa basically just popping a rage, going straight on the Timbersaw. Sorry, going on the Treant and killing the Treant because the Treant TP'd in. So Timbersaw has an escape whereas Treant does not. So Treant probably had to wait those few seconds before his fade time went away, which is 7 seconds, which is just not enough. Ursa will kill you before that time is up. Okay, Magi just rolling around, putting some nice aggressive wards in, spotting this ancient stack here for the dire side. Now the ancient stack is definitely going to be used up for Legion Commander. Timbersaw don't really see him wanting to use that. So Counter Strike is extremely, Moment of Courage is extremely powerful against a large amount of heroes. Ursa just going to sneak in the Roche here. Now it's just having lifesteal. Now she's got to be a bit careful here with the changes to the Roche Pit. There's no real place that you can stand anymore, where the Roche Pit essentially Roche has to walk away and actually, disengage you, because he'll basically be able to engage you the whole time, and so he's got to be a bit careful here. He may need to pop his ult, like his actual ult, or else he's going to die, yeah, and so there you go, pops his ult, and nice easy pick off there on Roshan. Pick the Aegis up and a decent amount of gold and net worth going towards the Radiant team. So Legion Commander just sitting here solo as the Bristleback lane. Now Legion Commander, if you're in lane, you generally want to go not for. She's got 2,000 gold, so she's probably going to go for a blink tag. Yeah, it's actually pretty nice. A good early blink tag timing is very important on the Legion. The earlier you get mobility, the earlier you can get more duels off. Ursa just got to be a bit careful at top. Treant gonna get the bash down, little bash lord here. Now Ursa has to be careful because he's gonna pop the Aegis here, but they can just escape. So Treant, I'm assuming he's just gonna walk away, and so is Timber, and they're just gonna burn the Aegis, which is just really well played by the boys in the Goon, just realizing, hey, look, we don't need to fight you at all. I'm just hoping that Legion Commander does, in fact, actually go for the blink tag at first rather than what she's got queued up, and no, she's not. Okay, looks like, yeah, she might be, it's confusing. I hope Ghoulie does go for the blink dagger. If he doesn't get the blink dagger, essentially that'll basically mean his entire time in lane saving up money was wasted, and he should have gone for a soul ring and treads, just so that he could outcompete the rest of the team, the rest of them in lane. That's kind of where Legion Commander's benefit rocks up. She is one of those heroes that is insane against lane. She will basically just she'll outlast hit you, and she'll be able to out heal you and out sustain you in lane. If you try and fight her, your creeps basically do her a favor. Now they need to get some heroes bottom to prevent this prevent this tower from falling. What they don't realize is that there's a Magnus with invisibility, and he spots two of them, and all three of them are going to come in, and it's a beautiful RP, and that's just an instant team wipe. Oh, what an RP. The best thing is that Magnus didn't even realize he got the Treant Protector in that, because there's no sentry wall down, but that was insanely powerful of an RP there by the Magnus. Really, really well played. Just being patient. Unfortunately, it's pretty difficult to figure out that the Magnus has an invisibility rune unless you have wards up by the runes and somebody spotted out. Now, Lena's got to be really careful here because you've got the Ursa TPing in. He's probably going to go for a blink soon, and yeah, it looks like he's saving up for it. He doesn't have a queued, but there's definitely no way he's not going for anything else. Just popping his ult because, you know, he can. Treant Protector just healing himself up, walking around. Goonsake realizing that ISIS are probably going to go for mid, and they've also spotted out the rest of the runes. So, okay, you really don't want to fight a Bristleback when it's back's turn, and so this is kind of, oh wow, so Bristleback's got a Vanguard and actually went for Treads. So Treads is extremely powerful on Bristleback. In pub games, Bristleback generally goes for like mana boots so that he can essentially maintain his mana and help his team, then eventually move into Octarine Core and OP. ISIS basically just going for full-on 5-man here. Now, yeah, okay, so it looks like there's going to be a dead Ogre there. Nice little play there. ISIS sort of just forgetting to respect the fact that they got a Lina. Now Legion Commander could go for a duel, but she's just whiffed her blink there a little bit. And she has to be careful with the Ursa. You have to sort of duel him at the right stage. Not right now. Yeah, it's just going to be a feat of damage then. As soon as Ursa pops, you have to wait until Ursa is essentially at a low point of health, or until you have her Blade Mail. A really nice fight there coming out. Lina popping the ultimate just to pick off the Bristleback there. Ursa is extremely powerful against the Legion Commander until she gets Blade Mail, and then he essentially kills himself. A really big stack that I missed, sorry. This big stack here is going to be amazing. It's going to help Magnus get his Blink Dagger, hopefully. He's gone from Midas. Oh no, it's just going to be given straight to the Ursa, who's almost going to die, because it's, you know, stacks are pretty powerful now. So he's probably going to pop his ult and go in. Nope, just going to take it out. Now, Ursa got in for a Vlad's really strong, powerful pushing item, just sort of indicative of the whole, yeah, let's 5-man, let's just kill him quickly. He's got a nice bit of bonus damage here as well. I don't think Ghoulies ever going to live that down. You never want to duel the Ursa. You want to duel someone such as like the Shadow Shaman or possibly the Ogre Magi. Someone that actually that impacts the team fight, but doesn't actually impact the team fight in a physical damage manner, so that they can't really, they'll never beat you in the duel, but you could just, worst case scenario is to disable him. So Magnus would actually be a good target as well. Magnus probably wouldn't beat you in the duel, but the Ursa would still be able to kill you because the Magnus and Ursa will probably be in the same location. You really want to duel someone that just dies straight away. That you can just throw a Lina ult on and then you just take your 10 damage and thank you very much. Nice little blink out there from Ghoulie just running away. Ghoulie has to go for a Blade Mail now. He has no choice basically. After the damage feed there, essentially he's going to be extremely hampered in his farm now. He got a pretty early timing on the Blink Dagger, all things considered in the lane. They probably wanted to play that lane a bit better. I think they had the more superior lane for the first 2 levels, and they really didn't take advantage of that. Looks like just ISIS coming up the top here and just taking a massive sort of, you know, we're just going to push the towers, take them all down. A little fortification coming out there, but Ursa with I wonder if they're going to max. He's going to max out. Yes, he is. He's going the 114 build. That's absolutely insane. So the 114 build on Ogre is basically maxing out your Bloodlust, so that your carries can essentially dominate the enemy. And a hero like Ursa, who just thrives on attack speed and movement speed, will absolutely love this. So Ogre Magi going the true support Ogre Magi rather than going for the damage. Got nice little wards coming up there, essentially just saying, you know, this is our tower. We're going to take this tower. When Roche next respawns, I assume that the ISIS will go for the tier 3s, but I don't think they'll probably go for that until then. The only thing that I can say that probably would be the best counter for this would be a Timbersaw going in absolutely ham, throwing everything he can on the Ursa, and Legion Commander getting a Blade Mail as soon as possible and managing to get the duel off before Ursa gets enraged. Once that happens, then they can essentially pick off the Ursa quite quickly, and there's not really many heroes that can 1v1 the Legion anymore. The problem with that is that the second you decide to go ham on a hero, and you decide that your whole team's going to go and fight them, looks like you're getting ready for a smoke up here, and it looks like Ogre Magi's got the smoke. Nice little smoke there, using it on the courier so that Ogre Magi's doesn't go on cooldown. But they're going to go for a smoke here, and they're probably going to get a pick off on the Timber Sword. Nice little blink, just showing off the blink that he's got with Ursa. So now if they decide to turn and... Oh, okay, here's coming a nice RP. Definitely going to be an RP. Who's Grave? Oh, okay, so the Timber Sword gets Grave. Probably would have wanted to Grave the Lina actually, because you can deal on more damage. But the Timber Sword definitely going down there. Jesus is just going to pay the price for being a support and being there. Ooh, looks like he's not going to go down. Ghoulie just healing him up there nicely. And Trent just hiding in the trees. Trent is going to be extremely poor. His team net worth and experience is just skyrocketing into ISIS's favor, essentially. Bristleback just pushing bottom, just being a Bristleback. So he's finally got his level 6, and he can actually do some damage here. Now it looks like maybe they'll get a kill off. Yes, they'll get the kill off with the Laguna Blade, just finishing up there. Bloodstone on the Lina there, nice little timing. Looks like the Lina is actually getting quite a decent bit of farm here. So Lina is probably sort of like the saving grace, not to mention one of the highest damage dealers on their team. Legion Commander unfortunately getting picked off a bit there. Ghoulie just got to be a little bit more careful about his positioning, because Magnus definitely has a blink dagger now. But he didn't have that before, and it looks like he's revealed it. They might have noticed it before in the fight that they had when they kind of got wiped for 3, that Magnus was blinking around, but now he's definitively got a blink dagger, and the rest of the team's going to know. What they don't know as well is that he's got an invisibility rune coming up, so Magnus will probably get another one of those sneaky little RPs off again. It's screaming heavily and heavily. It's getting more and more in favor of ISIS winning and taking this game. Roshan has still not spawned, so just waiting for Roshan to spawn, I'm assuming, before they take the tier 3s. They might push a tier 3 before that. I very much doubt it. Tier 3s are essentially one of those last hopes for the defending team, so they might actually be able to make a stand at the tier 3s. GOON might be able to make a stand at the tier 3s and actually essentially push the boys at ISIS a bit further back. A nice little pickup coming up here for the Bristleback. Solar Crest is one of the most powerful items in the game, essentially. It either powers you or someone that you like a lot up. Oops. And so, come on. And so Ursa just going on the Lina here, and Lina just basically being saved. Now Magnus has an RP, and he whiffs the RP, but he gets one of the most important targets. Looks like the Dazzle got hit, but it was kind of a whiff of the RP. I think he was going for the whole, you guys are going to run back when you see me, but they didn't. A nice little overgrowth coming there from the Trent, preventing anyone from dying. Now Dazzle's running back, and Lina's definitely going to, and that's exactly what you need to do. Well done, Ghoulie. Just right at the last second, when they're pretty much going to guarantee the kill, you just blink in to get the damage there. Now they've got to be really careful, because the Bristleback will actually kill them all, and Trent needs to be extremely careful here, as does Legion Commander. Magnus sort of diving in there a little bit. Nice pick off there. That's basically just like a nice skill shot. Unfortunately, they're not going to get anything, no stuns to stop Magnus. But a really nice turnaround there from the boys on the GOON. Extremely well played. Well played to Ghoulie. Well played to Ghoulie for getting a nice duel off there, easy damage. And well played to Lina for not panicking and not throwing everything out and just wasting his spells, just playing it safe. But I think MVP of that fight was definitely the Dodebrow with the nice overgrowth. I think ISIS just got a little bit confident. Magnus definitely kind of whiffing that RP, only picking off the Dazzle. Now, the Dazzle is an extremely important target, but you have to kill him. So they didn't actually manage to kill him on Shallow Grave, essentially. You're trading a Grave for an ultimate, and it's just not worth it. Dazzle also has Weave as well, which is insanely good against physical damage heroes, like the Bristleback, who rely on heavy armor to... so plus 14 armor, essentially, from all of those things. And his passive to basically stay in the fight for longer. UGTFO just staying up the top here for some unknown reason. I think he's basically just hiding in here because he thinks that they're going to push that lane, or maybe he's forgotten a TP. Yeah, it looks like he's actually forgotten a TP and he can't run out because he's worried he's going to get dueled and killed. That's actually a pretty fair assumption, because Legion Commander actually probably going to have a blade now pretty soon. Ursa just farming the bottom there. Looks like Ursa's going for a Desolator. Desolator on Ursa is disgusting, basically. Desolator Vlad's is the lifesteal combo with the insane amount of damage. Desolator is one of the most damage efficient items that you can get early game. The minus armor as well is extremely potent for the rest of his team, not to mention his Fury Swipes, which is physical type, and also Bristleback's Cool Sprays, which is physical. So Ursa sort of not really taking one for the team, but sort of doing one for the team, which is a really, really good way to go. If you've got a team composition that's mostly physical, minus armor is absolutely overpowered. But if you've got a team composition that's mostly magical, go for a Veil. Don't be that one guy in the game who's like, I'll buy a Dagon because it gives me more damage. Go for a Veil. It probably gives you more damage and more survivability, and also helps your team out. So really well played by the Ursa here. I expect to see an Assault Cuirass on one of these heroes at some point because there's so much raw physical. Magnus is also a pretty good physical hero damage. He does a lot of magic with Shockwave and the Burst Virality. Oh, nice. Shadowblade picked up here. Magnus just cementing himself as the initiator. But there's a lot of physical damage from the wall, and not to mention the Serpent Walls as well, which just deal a ton of physical damage. Ursa just going to take this quick, easy Roche here. Furiosa has got a Sentry Ward up here, so he knows that he can't be spotted. Dazzle just trying to get a little bit of... Dazzle trying to get a bit of D-wards there. And it looks like he's probably going to go down if... No, actually, it's a really nice kind of... it's a bit early on the grave there. A nice route to just ensure that Dazzle gets away. Trian's probably going to give his life for that, unfortunately. But I guess the Trian is worth slightly less than the Dazzle because he just wastes his ultimate. Now, when Trian does come back, he'll have his ultimate still on cooldown, unfortunately. He has got a Midas up, so they are definitely playing for the late game. If it goes super late, I think that if Goonsec can essentially keep him at bay for long enough, Timbersaul's got to be really careful. Yeah, instant blink on by the Ursa, and Timbersaul's like way low health now. So Timbersaul can throw out Chakrams, but he can't get there. He can't stay there. Chakram's basically the only thing he can do. He's kind of like a very poor range nuker. Now Lena's got to try and take out these wards because Lena is the only one with enough range that's kind of like at a safe spot of it. They've got to keep the damage on Ursa though, because if Ursa doesn't take damage for like I think 3 seconds, his Blink Dagger will come back off cooldown and he'll just go and kill. Taking out tier 3, which gives them the ability to kill shrines. Now shrines before 25 minutes is a really strong gameplay. Ursa, unfortunately, just a little bit too familiar with pub games and just having a bit of bad manner there. He needs to be a bit careful about that. If you accidentally do GG during a game, it will start the trigger, and if your team isn't careful, then you'll just accidentally lose the game, and once you lose the game. Lena just getting a nice little bit of farm here. So she's got a Silver Edge. I really love this pickup. Silver Edge is super overpowered against just every hero on the enemy team. Bristleback's passives are just him. That's what Bristleback is. He's literally got a passive named after himself. Silver Edge will disable all that so they can pick him off. Not to mention Ursa's Fury Swipes. Ursa has insane DPS because of Fury Swipes. Essentially, every time he hits you, he does basically 30 more damage on physical, plus the Desolator, which increases it by a lot more. So he'll still actually do a lot of damage, but he won't be able to do that sort of oh shit, you're just gonna die damage. He'll still do damage and like he'll hit you, but the passes won't stack on for as long as they will. So you can essentially like disengage him and then re-engage at another point. So little pings out here come from the tier 2. ISIS basically just saying, you know what, let's pick off their last tier 2, let's not be a full pub game. We really want to be a bit careful. Okay, Lena's got to be really careful here because there's 2 extremely strong disables. If she wants to pick someone off, she has to pick off the Shadow Shaman really quickly. And she's going to get a nice double pick on it. And the Magnus is down, but the Shadow Shaman has the latch. I probably would have gone for the Shadow Shaman first, but I guess, yeah, that's a nice easy double pick off from the Lena. It's just going to TP out. Now Ursa, unfortunately, might get a nice... No, okay. So Ursa not getting the return kill there, but wasting his ultimate. And this is the thing, essentially. Lena coming in with a really nice pick off there. The double stun basically allowed her to get that kill. Very well played by the Lena there. Just realizing, hey, I'm kind of going to have to go for a carry this game because the rest of my team can't really get enough farm up yet. Bloodstone picked up on the Timbersaw, very well played. That's basically all he's got though. So the Timbersaw might be able to fight pretty soon, but in all honesty, I'd say something like Boots of Travel might not be the worst idea here. What other item is essentially going to help you team fight better? Nothing. So you might want to just go for straight up, let's go split push, or let's go for I'm going to farm, and then when the fight comes to it, I'll be very close to that no matter what. Trend Protector got a Midas here, so this is not looking bad for the boys on the Goon anymore. ISIS have sort of lost a bit of momentum here, and they're letting Goonsec get back into this. Goonsec have a much stronger carry lineup. If they essentially get there. Unfortunately, Legion Commander just has no damage. So a Shadowblade coming out on Legion Commander, going the full pub build here, essentially, where you just go for the pure initiator. So Legion Commander cementing herself as the initiator. And what's probably what the most hopeful thing is essentially that Legion Commander gets over duel, Timbersaw gets a nice burst damage off them, Lena just throws out 1 or 2 spells, and that person is essentially dead. Gives Legion Commander free damage, not to mention the team fight turns into a 4v5. Now, you've only used 1 ultimate, which is supposed to be for that, so the team fight essentially won't be lost, but the pick-off will be there. So if they pick off someone huge like the Magnus, oh god, that's just a huge team fight win there, because then that's almost all of the team fight for ISIS gone. But if they pick off someone like the Ursa or the Bristleback, then that's a huge amount of damage. I've still got team fight, and the Ursa might be able to buy back, but there's a very good chance that she could lose that duel, Legion Commander. Shadow Shaman's also another nice really pick up. This is extremely